The year is 163 BE, 2163 CE on the old calendar. Earthkind has settled an area of space with an interstellar reach of about 20 light-years in all directions. This network of Earth-colonized star systems is now commonly referred to as the Sphere. More than 300 light-years away from the Sphere's outermost boundaries, a large, sharply dressed leopard biped named Luther sat alone in a brightly lit museum. Nestled in the leopard's fedora was a red feather quill he kept on hand for jotting down ideas, even while in VR. Luther had loaded the same museum into his VR simulator every night for the past 2 years. The museum was massive and quiet. It had marble floors and padded cherry wood benches. Luther's VR simulator was one of a precious few vices available to him on his never-ending and non-voluntary voyage through space. While Luther found VR passable at satiating some desires, it did little to soothe his loneliness. Even on nights he set the behavior sliders for the characters in his simulations to be as bizarre, dangerous, or flirtatious as possible, Luther could never shake the fact that none of the people in front of him were real. With nothing but time on his paws, Luther had decided to devote an hour of meditation to every artwork in the virtual museum. He had thus worked his way up to the 𝗀𝗲𝘃 section. Luther's whiskers twitched, something they hadn't done since he left the outer boundaries of the Sphere nearly 3.5 years ago. What the hell was that? Luther thought to himself. I remember this feeling. He looked over to the other side of the room and saw a small group of people observing the procuress. Among them was a young woman with short blonde hair wearing sunglasses and a full-piece business suit. Luther knew that everything he was experiencing was being fed to him via his VR simulator, yet he could swear he smelled something he shouldn't have been able to. Something that VR, no matter how advanced, could ever get exactly right for someone with his instincts. Keep your cool, Luther thought to himself. This sensation is probably just a glitch. What else could it be? You're hundreds of light years away from another soul, Luther. None of this is real, you idiot. Damn it, I'm talking to myself again. Excited, desperate to discover that by some means he may no longer be alone, even if deep down he knew he was deluding himself, Luther jogged over to the woman. Hello, Luther said. An arts museum, the woman in the suit replied. From what I've gathered, wouldn't a park be more your style? Humans, leashes, isn't that your thing? What? Luther said. Who are you? The woman walked away. Wait, Luther shouted. Luther noticed something odd about the woman as she left. She looked like she was walking, but the speed she moved away more closely matched someone running. This convinced Luther even more that the woman was probably just a glitch in the VR software. Whatever the case, this had been the most interesting thing to happen in a month. Let's pause the sim, Luther thought. Get a better look. Control, Luther said to access the VR menu. Control! Luther shouted again, but no menu came up and no commands he issued to the VR would work. Something's off here. He chased the woman. As fast as he naturally was, Luther found it difficult to keep up with her. He knew the museum well and that the hall they were running down soon led to an exit. If Luther was to catch the woman, he had to act quickly. Hold it! Luther shouted. The woman had nearly reached the exit to the museum. He grabbed a nearby desk and hurled it at the exit to block her with zero regard for the surrounding artificial crowd. All but the woman, who seemed to momentarily phase out of existence, went flying to the ground as the desk barreled towards them. Without skipping a beat, the woman faced back as soon as she was out of harm's way. Several of the museum's digital patrons lay bruised and disheveled across the marble floor. A man running out of the room briefly blocked the woman from Luther's view. When he was gone, she was nowhere to be found. In her place was an older, female leopard biped wearing jeans and black and white sneakers. Stop that, Luther shouted. Stop projecting yourself as her. Just wanted to remind you what's at stake, the female leopard biped said. What the hell are you talking about? Luther growled in his low, raspy voice, no longer convinced the woman was a glitch. Who are you? A chandelier fell from the ceiling, obstructing Luther's view of the female leopard biped. When Luther looked again, the woman in the suit had returned. I'm not in love with your tone, she said. Luther grabbed the woman by her throat and lifted her high off the ground. What are you? Luther said. Are you a program? A lifeless automaton like everything else here? You're not, are you? Or at the very least, you're not local to this software. How did you get in here? Why are you taunting me? It was only now, with the woman held so close to his face, did Luther notice her black and white striped tie. She remained calm even while in his grasp. The stripes on her tie began to wobble, only slightly noticeable at first, but soon Luther's gaze became transfixed. He could not look away as the tie's hypnotic swirling completely overtook him. The woman phased out of Luther's paw and dropped back to the ground. Before Luther realized what was happening, digital blood was flying from his mouth and spattering onto his whiskers. The last thing he saw before becoming airborne was another set of stripes, this time from the woman's sock, momentarily revealed as her foot lifted from the ground to strike his face. Luther flew backward 10 feet into the air before crashing into a marble bust and obliterating it. The museum was now completely quiet as all of its virtual patrons had run screaming towards the exit at the other end. All Luther could hear was the sound of dress shoes hitting the floor. The woman casually walked towards him as he lay on the ground, staring up at elaborate gold chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. The woman extended her hand, offering to help Luther to his feet. "Whoever you are," Luther said, "don't you ever project yourself as that image again." "Just here to talk, friend," the woman said. "Call me Scout." 3.5 years later. Hey, it's the author and narrator here, Seth Fentress. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a reading from the book. The book is available on Amazon. For now, you can get it either as a paperback or you can download it to your Kindle Fire, Kindle Paper, your Kindle device, or on an Android tablet or phone via the Kindle app. Or you can just type in to your web browser amazon.com/author/Seth Fentress. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe, follow, like, any of those kind of things. Tells whatever website you're listening to this on that, hey, I should share this stuff because people might like it. And I would appreciate that insanely. You can also find a list of links and other cool stuff by heading over to 𝗬𝗏𝗋𝗄𝑏ipeds.com. And yeah, I'll see you there.